Hi there. So continuing our journey on learning neural networks, in this video we will try to understand how perceptrons can be combined using weighted connections and how multi-layer perceptrons gives us a powerful way to combine multiple activation functions to reach the desired output. So let's check out the structure of a perceptron, a multi-layered perceptron. So as we can see over here in this diagram, multi-layered perceptrons basically combine perceptrons, a lot of perceptrons with weighted interconnections to achieve the required output in the best possible way by combining multiple functions over each of the layers. So each of the circles you see over here will be applying a different kind of activation function so that the desired output can be reached too. Multi-layered perceptrons basically are multi-layered. As you can see over here, the input layer is represented as xi1. If we have, let's say xi as our data set at hand, xi as our data point at hand out of the data set given, and let's say our data set has 4 dimensions or 4 features, then for the specific data point xi will have the respective components of xi as xi1, xi2, xi3, xi4, which will be playing the which will be playing as input values for this multi-layered perceptron. So if these 4 input values are passed to this perceptron, just a second, sorry about that. If these 4 values for the specific data point xi are passed through this multi-layered perceptron, it will go through the first hidden layer over here where we have 3, let's say 3 for example, we are just considering 3 functions over here, and on the second hidden layer we are considering 2 functions over here, and we are assuming that our output is received just by applying 6 or in total 3 to in total 7 activation functions over here to reach the desired output. So we are assuming that. So if we are assuming that there are 7 activation functions, then we are also assuming that we are actually feeding the 4 values in the desired way, 4 input values in the desired way to all these functions to reach the desired output. Now why and how these functions are combined, we'll be seeing later. Let's understand the structure first. To understand the structure, I've already explained, this is the input layer which has the input values coming out as feature values of each of the data points for which the target value has to be calculated. Between the input layer and the output layer, this is the output layer. The output layer is the layer that gives you the desired output or the target value. So between the input layer and output layer, all the layers that come within, what exactly are the layers? I'll just highlight what exactly do we call layers. So what we call as a layer. So this is called a layer. Just a second. This is called a layer, input layer. This is called the output layer, already explained. And between the input and the output layer, whatever layers we have, we call all of them as hidden layers. And these hidden layers are specified. So these all are hidden layers. These all are hidden layers. So a hidden layer can be specified with the sequence number in which they fall. So this is called the hidden layer 1. This is called the hidden layer 2. And this is how the structure of a multi-layered perceptron looks like. So we have the input layer. Just to just have a quick recap, this is the input layer. Here we have hidden layer 1, hidden layer 2. Hidden layer 1 has 3 functions, and hidden layer 2 has 2 activation functions combined in a way so that and output layer has 1 activation function, which we are so altogether we are using 7 activation functions to reach the desired output. So this is how the structure of a multi-layered perceptron looks like. Moving further, why at all do we require to mix activation functions? So probably if you have studied machine learning, you will be knowing what is the difference between a linear model and a non-linear model. So linear models are those models which work upon linearly separable data, for example logistic regression or linear SVMs, or for that matter linear regression. So all all these models actually are the simplest models that work on linearly separable data, but in the real scenario, most of the data that we get are non-linear in their form, and we require non-linear functions to find out to create a plane or to create to create the separation boundaries to classify such data. And to form non-linear functions, it's very much necessary that we mix up various linear functions together so that we achieve a non-linear function which can solve complex distribution of data. And the example of non-linear models, we have RBF kernel SVMs, and then random forests, or gradient boosting decision trees. So whenever you have a data that is not linearly separable, the model that should be applied to that such kind of data should be a non-linear model. And basically in multi-layered perceptrons as well, what we try to do is to achieve a non-linear model or a non-linear function by combining various functions at hand. We try to achieve the non-linear models by mixing up or by creating multiple functional combinations, so that the model that is created is of a non-linear form, and it is able to separate the mixed up data, or it is able to predict the data that is completely mixed up. So thus by using multi-layered structure, we can come up with complex mathematical functions. And for regression problems, instead of just having a function, we can actually combine functions in multi-layered structures to get enormous power on manipulating the models. Okay, so just to understand, let's say you have been given an input as x. Let's say you have been given an input as x, and you are expected to reach a value of, or you are expected to calculate the target value y by using this function. So let's say you have been given an input value x, and you are expected to reach the target value of y using this function. So how will you implement this function in case of a perceptron, multi-layered perceptron? So here is how, I'll just give you an example to explain how things work, or how activation functions work in case of multi-layered perceptron, and why do we require multi-layer of perceptrons to reach out the desired output. So given this function, if you have to implement this function in the structure of multi-layered perceptron, how will the things proceed? So if you have to implement 3 multiplied by x square plus 2 plus cos 4x, you can see we are starting off with x and we are applying a square function over here. We are starting off with x, we are applying a square function over here, and what we are getting as the output? It's x square. On x, so we have already got x square. On x square, we are further applying a addition function. On x square, we are applying addition function, and we are again giving 2 as an input. So here x was the input, now we are again giving 2 as the input, and through x we have reached x square already. And on applying addition function on x square and 2, what do we reach? What do we get? X square plus 2. Now we already have x square plus 2. All we need is to multiply x square plus 2 with 3. But to multiply x square plus 2 with 3, we will need an input of 3 coming in and coming into the multiplication function. So we already have x square plus 2 in the pipeline, and we need another input as 3 coming in, so that both can be applied to reach the value of 3x square plus 2. Similarly, if you need to reach cos 4x, what all things do we need? First of all, we need the input value x to start with, and we need number 4 to start with. We'll multiply 4 and x, will multiply 4 and x using this multiplication function over here. We'll get 4x as the output. On 4x, we'll further apply the cosine function, because we need cos of 4x. So on applying cosine function, we will get the output as cos 4x, and because we have cos 4x in our hand right now, and we have 3x square plus 2 in our hand right now, what we can do? We can again apply an addition function to get the final output, that is 3x square plus 2 plus cos of 4x. So if you got to understand the flow of implementing this function using using the combination of various kind of functions, I think this you would have already studied as f of g of x and g of f of x in composition of functions in your senior secondary level. On your senior secondary level, you would have studied composition of functions under calculus, to understand how g of f of x can be calculated, how f of g of x can be calculated, to make you understand how the composition of functions actually happen, how functions are actually combined to reach to create a desired function or to reach out to a particular model. So I think you already got to understand here how, by using multi-layered structure or by using multiple activation functions, and how by combining various input values at different functional levels, we got to create a powerful model having complex activation function altogether. So we are using functional composition here, and that is the main idea behind multi-layered perceptrons, which is actually loosely inspired from a biological neural network. And in multi-layered perceptrons, we have inputs coming into the input layer, the inputs being processed in the hidden layers, including the output layer, and the output layer gives the final output. So output layer has this function ready at that level, and it actually gives the final output. So this is how this is why we need activation functions. So these are the functions applied at multiple points, you can see, to reach this desired equation. And this is why we need multiple layer of perceptrons, having multiple perceptrons in each layer to reach out to combine multiple activation functions to reach out to the desired output. Multi-layered perceptron is thus a graphical way to represent functional compositions, so that multiple activation functions can be combined to reach the desired output. I have been repeating it all the way till now. So this is how it works. And if you did not get to understand anything in this video, I will suggest you to review this video from start to end, and hope this made sense to you. If it was helpful to you, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much. You have a good day.